So now what it's time to do is actually finalize the checkout. So let's go through the process so far. We create an object and then we can update that object. We already understood that, but let's actually look at this cart real quick. Inside of that cart of get or create new, we have this session ID of create cart. So I'm gonna actually grab that and bring it back into my view. And inside of this like sort of finalize order method, we wanna kind of keep track of what I need to do. So I need to delete the cart ID after it's completed. And then I need to update my order object to being done or paid, right? Those are the two main things that I need to do. Once I delete this cart, then we probably want to, redirect to some success page. That's pretty much it as far as completing this stuff off. So how is it that we're going to go about doing this? Well, I've got my billing profile and I have some addresses. So I should be able to actually start doing it right away, right? So when I come in here and I have an order, let's just pretend, I think it might not be a complete one. So let's go to checkout and we'll add this in. Okay, so now that I've got that, notice that every time I refresh, that is actually in there. But now I just want to click checkout and actually run it. Okay, so this means that I'm going to have a few things already done. But really what I could do is say if request.method equals to post. And then we want to check maybe, so do some sort of check, that order is done, right? So we want to do that. And then we're just going to do these two things, honestly, these three things rather. So we'll delete the cart ID. We will update the order object to being paid, right? So, we have to check on that. And then finally, we're going to redirect to, let's say, success. Let's just put it at /success or cart success, something like that. So first of all, let's do something for a check that the order is done. That's going to mean, and I'm going to leave this out for a moment too, because we don't want to delete that session card just yet. So let's go into our model and check that it's done. And how would we check that? Well, we'll do define check done. We'll just make an instance method here. And what are the things that I want to absolutely have? Number one, we'll say if we'll do billing profile equals to self.billing profile. And then the address, we want to make sure we have an address. Also a billing address. We also want to have a total of greater than 0 probably. So total equals to self.total. That'll be the first thing. We'll say if self.total is less than 0, return false. Elif, elif billing profile and shipping address and billing address and we actually don't need to do self.total because we gave it a variable name. Then we can return true. Okay. So really we probably just need to do if this, and then otherwise we'll return false. So if these things are all there, then we'll return true. Otherwise we'll return false. We're really just saying, hey, making sure these things aren't null. Order ID, probably want to make sure that that's done. That could be one thing, but then that's it, right? I've pretty much finished it. And then the last thing is define mark done self. If self.check done, as in make sure that this is returning true, then self dot or not mark down, but mark down paid. We would just give it a status of paid or, something like that. So mark paid, self.status equals to paid, self.save, return self.status. Cool. So we've got a check done and then marking whether or not it's paid. So going back into our cart, on that actual instance, we can do order object. We could check it, or we could just say mark paid. And then let's say is done. Order object dot check done. All right, check done. And back in. If is done, then we'll mark it as paid. And we'll also delete that cart, and then we'll redirect this section. And that would be it. Back into our order. Let's just double check that. We've got status being, created as default, but now it's paid. The order will stay active, right? That's something a little bit different. So that does mean maybe back into our manager, when we created stuff here, I actually probably might want to exclude that it's been paid. That might be a good idea. So let's just go ahead and do that. Exclude status equals to paid. Just in case, for some reason, that order comes back up, we want to remove that status. We might even want status paid or even refunded or shipped. Basically, maybe we just want it to be created. Let's just do that. And we'll just say status equals to created, as in the default. The default method, or the default that we set here. Cool. So now that we've got that, let's go back into our view for the checkout. We've got this post method. Check that the order is done. It's done. Then mark it paid. And then return a redirect. Cool. I can delete these notes. This request method post. Actually, I want to do the redirect only if it's done, not in general. So back into our checkout. Right here, this button is going to be input type, or sorry, not input type, but rather form class equals to form, method equals to post, action is just empty. It's just going to go to the current page, CSRF token, close off that form, button type equals to submit. That's it. We save that, refresh in here. I hit checkout. It brings me to cart success. I go back into cart. It's empty. My number did not update there, so let's go ahead and make sure that we do that. So back into my cart, I want to get where I actually create that number, which I believe, let's see, we created it. Here's the session for that cart. Let's actually look on our nav bar. I'm not sure where I created it now. So in our nav bar, cart items, I'm just going to delete that one or put it to 0, either one. But I'll actually put it to 0 because I think that was the default anyway. So back into our view for the cart, right here, request.session, and then this cart items equals to 0. So we'll try that again. We'll log in, products, item there, checkout, address, fun, address, more fun, hit submit, checkout, cart success, cool, cart's 0. Let's look at our orders. The last two, I think, this one, we've got paid, cool, to our user. Next one, paid, also to our user. Awesome. Very, very cool. The checkout process is roughly done, but like I said, I want the ability to check and select a different address, which is something we'll do in the next one. It's actually pretty cool. So stay with us.